Before I start with today's video, you may notice that I'm a little bit sick. My voice is kind of out of it right now. I'm still fine enough to make this video, but I want to be clear that if my voice seems out of it, well, it's because I'm sick right now, so sorry for those that have to listen to this voice right now. I know it sounds pretty bad. But enough of that, I want to talk about this brand new Hill article that dropped a little while ago, as apparently the Democrat Party is leaving the door open for yet another Harris run. Yeah, this is a real headline. This isn't fake news. This is coming right from the Hill. Apparently, Democrats are now saying, oh, you know what? 2024 was bad, but we should run Harris yet again. You just can't make this up. I mean, guys, in 2024, Harris got absolutely wiped out. She lost a popular vote by 1.5. She lost all the swing states by decent margins. I mean, how can anyone look at this map and say, oh yeah, we need Kamala Harris 2028? Why? Why does a single person even think this? And we're not talking about random people on the street. No. Apparently, these are top Democrats saying, we would be happy if Kamala Harris was the nominee. I mean, you just can't make this up. This party is so delusional, they're so out of touch, that now some of them are really believing the idea that, oh, Kamala Harris could pull off a comeback in 2028, which is just crazy. I mean, I don't get why a single Democrat is even saying this, let alone Democrats in the Senate. Again, we're not talking about random Joes or whatever. We're talking about top Senate Democrats saying, maybe Harris 2028 ain't a bad idea. Senate Democrats are skeptical about their former colleague, former Vice President Harris, making another presidential run in 2028 after she lost all 7 battleground states to Donald Trump in November, but most of them aren't ruling out the possibility that she could clinch the party's nomination if she plays her cards right, and this should tell you everything about this party. Alright, deep down, most of them realize that, oh, wait a minute, Harris 2028 may not be the best idea, but they don't care. They're either so delusional, they're batshit crazy, or they're just dumb. I mean, these people know, or they should know, that Harris would have no chance of winning 2028, but I think they kind of realize that, oh, wait a minute, this party is so insane, these voters are actually so crazy that they would actually pick Harris again. I mean, the fact that she has any chance at winning the nomination is insane. If this was a legitimate party, they would realize, oh wait, we should not run somebody like Harris yet again. We should have learned our lesson in 2016, and especially 2024. We had to run somebody that has half a brain, somebody that's actually decent. Not, oh yeah, we're gonna run Kamala Harris for the 3rd time. Harris re-emerged on the national stage last week at a San Francisco gala by delivering a widely publicized speech on Trump's first 100 days in office. Wait, widely publicized? What are you talking about? That speech had like 20 people watching. I mean, like, this idea that it was a widely publicized speech, everyone knew about it, that's insane. I barely knew about it. Do you think the average voter knew about this speech in San Francisco? And even if they did, the average person that tuned in, they probably forgot already. They probably forgot what she even said, or hell, she even had a speech a couple days ago. Sounding at times like a candidate again, as she slammed him for creating the greatest man-made economic crisis in modern presidential history. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's basically what she said during the speech. It was Orange Man bad, he's a dictator, and he created the biggest economic crisis ever. Bull crap. Guys, the economy right now is clearly rebounding. Even the stock market is back up to what it was before Liberation Day. So their whole argument is bull crap. The economic metrics are looking actually good. Jobs are coming back here. Inflation is going down. Yet Democrats had this weird narrative where, oh, President Trump is creating the biggest economic crisis ever. No, he's not. Harris, who is 60, is weighing her future political options and is viewed as a possible contender to run for governor of California in 2026 or for president again in 2028. And listen, no matter what happens, this is a win for the GOP, because if she runs for California governor, for starters, that primary with Porter would be an utter disaster. It would be hilarious. And Harris would probably win by like a good margin, but compared to like even Newsom, she would probably underperform by a decent margin, which would help Republicans down ballot. And if she runs for president in 2028, well, her party is so dumb that more than likely she would win the nomination quite easily. Now, The Hill does claim that there is some people in the Senate going against Harris, as apparently there was one senator who said, no, maybe we shouldn't run her again. The senator said she had her chance, the American people delivered their verdict, and she should move on. And I guarantee you this one Democrat is like Fetterman. There's like one or two Democrats that are opposed to the idea of Harris running in 2028. They're either in a swing state, or they realize that Harris would sink Democrats everywhere. They realize she's incredibly weak. She can't win anything. And even the Democrats that are saying, oh, we got to see what happens, like John Hickenlooper, he's saying, I think time will tell. You read into what he is saying. He is claiming that Harris's loss to Trump in 2024, it was a fluke. You can't use that against her. That's what he actually said. He said, I don't think it disqualifies her that she lost. What? She lost not just by one vote. If this was a very close race and she ended up losing by like 1% in one state, that's one thing. She got demolished. She lost to swing states. She did awful in Democrat states like New Jersey, New York. She did awful everywhere. Across the entire country, she collapsed. She's unpopular, yet these dumbasses, they're saying, no, that doesn't disqualify her. That is ludicrous. They're basically saying Harris is getting promoted by failing. And that's why the Democrat Party is losing. That's why their popularity is so low. It's like 21%. Their approval rating is like 21% right now. And they wonder why they're losing. Some Democratic lawmakers don't want to slam the door shut on Harris running for the White House in 3 years, especially when they're not sure if a stronger candidate will emerge. There are so many other people that are stronger than Harris. I can think of a couple. For example, Gretchen Whitmer. I mean, listen, she has no chance of winning the primary now, which is a problem, but at the bare minimum, she would probably do pretty good in Michigan. People like Josh Shapiro would do good in Pennsylvania. There are so many options, yet the problem is this party is so deranged that their only good options would never win the primary. So, what are you talking about? We need a stronger candidate. Yeah, the good ones, you're forcing out. You're saying, no, we cannot support Gretchen Whitmer because she's a MAGA Republican or some crap like that, which is insane, but that's the Democrat Party. Senate Democratic Whip Dick Durbin, who endorsed a former First Lady in the 2016 race, famously called on his party to move on from Clinton after a loss to Trump. I think it's time for our party to move on to new leadership and new spokesperson, he said. I don't get this party. So they realized that, oh, wait a minute, Hillary Clinton, she was a weak candidate. She should have never been the nominee in 2016. And if she somehow ran and won the primary again, she would get absolutely clobbered in the general. So they realized that, like 10 years ago, that she was not a strong candidate. But now they love Harris, who you could argue is even weaker. At least Clinton, she won the popular vote. And at the bare minimum, you could maybe argue that if Jill Stein didn't run or whatever, Hillary Clinton could have maybe won a place like Wisconsin or whatever, which I still doubt that. But the point is, at least you can make the argument that, well, she lost because of bad circumstances. But how can you explain Harris's loss other than she sucked? She lost the popular vote. And if it wasn't for third-party candidates, Trump's victory would have been even bigger. That's a funny thing about this. If you didn't have Jill Stein, if you didn't have RFK, Chase Oliver, there's a good chance that Trump's margin of victory could have expanded. And even then, Trump was basically cracking 50% in all the swing states. Like, even if all these third-party voters voted for Harris, Trump still would have won. He would have won Pennsylvania because he got over 50%. He won North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada. It wouldn't have mattered. Yet this party, they want to run Harris again. And look at this. Martin Henrik, who is the Democrat senator of New Mexico, he said in 2020, oh, Harris would be a very bad, or Clinton was a bad candidate. She should never run again. He's now saying, I'm a big fan of Kamala Harris. I enjoyed serving with her. I think given the time frame that we have, which is very different from what we were dealing with last time, that's going to be an open process, he said. Anybody who thinks they've got what it takes will step into that, and someone will emerge as the winner. I would never underestimate her talent, he said. Having that open process has a lot of long-term benefits. This party's nuts. How can anyone say that you can't underestimate her? Really? How did she do in 2024? And this idea of, oh, if Harris had more time, she would have done better is bullshit. Just look at what happened in 2020. Did everyone just forget she ran for president in 2020? She dropped out before even Iowa. She was an awful candidate. No one liked her. And the longer the campaign went on, the more people realized, oh, wait, I hate Kamala Harris. The same thing would have happened in 2024. If she was the nominee from the get-go, not 5 months before the election, I really believe she would have done even worse. I know that sounds crazy, but think about it. She was becoming more hated the more she spoke. That's a fact. The more she did these shitty interviews, the more she did these town halls, which were all staged, by the way. I mean, she can't do a real town hall. Yet even the fake ones, the ones that should help her, actually hurt her because people realized, oh, wait, Kamala Harris is delusional. She has no clue what she's talking about. Yet she's the vice president and she expects to be the next president? She can't even do a town hall properly, a fake one at that. So, the Democrat Party, they're idiots. They're filled with morons. They really believe that if they would have had a longer campaign, if Harris would have entered the race much earlier, she would have magically done better? No, she would have done worse. The same thing happened in 2019. Again, people just forget about this. She was the front runner for like 5 minutes, and then people realized, oh, wait, she's nuts. She has no clue what she's talking about. She's a dumbass. She should be nowhere near the White House, and that's why she dropped out. The same thing would have happened. She would have done even worse. The only reason it wasn't much worse than it should have been was the simple fact that they dropped Biden, who was so bad that even a bunch of Democrats realized, oh, he's out of it completely. This guy's gone. With Harris, who at least could sometimes function, but if they would have done this earlier, people would have realized, oh, wait, she's just as bad. She's a dumbass. She has no clue what she's talking about. She would be incompetent. She should be nowhere near the White House. I really believe that. Yet these people, they're claiming that, oh, the reason she did so bad was because she only had a couple weeks of campaign. Bullshit. That probably helped her. The more she spoke, the worse it got for her. This idea that it was actually the compressed schedule hurt her. That's nuts. Guys, how much money did she get? She got like $2 billion or something crazy like that. This idea that she had no time to campaign, no one knew who she was, that's ridiculous. That's a cope. If this was like 5 minutes before the election, like, oh, a day before or whatever, that's a different story. But it wasn't. It was like 5 to 6 months before the election. So even then, that's still plenty of time to run a campaign. I don't get this. I don't get what Democrats are thinking. Do they really believe that they lost 2024 because of racism? Do these people actually believe it? I mean, I would be shocked. I mean, these people are so dumb. They probably believe that they lost because of sexism and racism, so if they triple down on the same crap, they're gonna magically do better? Which doesn't make any sense. If it's because of racism, why would anything change? But anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.